Hey, good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. Good Monday morning. It is August 3rd, 2020, right? August 3rd, 2020. All right, ladies, you know the drill in the studio. If we have a freeze up on the computer or anything this morning, folks, I'm going to let you know ahead of time. If there's a freeze up on the screen, we go to the show card and just hold it there till we can, unthaw it. No, restart. So, ladies, because I'm experiencing a very bad storm and I've had to reset internet this morning once. So, hopefully we can power through here. So, good morning. I hope you had a great weekend. It was a good weekend. Here's the best news I have. Well, it's not the best news. I have to be careful just throwing some of these words around. There's all the social media ways. I am taking the big risk today. Yes, I have taken the big risk today. I have posted some things on social media. It has probably alerted all the way up to, it has gone to Zuckerberg probably himself or whatever. No, here's the one thing. I have taken all, but you could rest assured I did not go to number 43. Give me number 43. I did not go to the YMCA camp. But Georgia camp outbreak shows rapid virus spread among children. So YMCA, kids in camp. Now, we're going to get into something. I want the video. I'll tell you what video I want here in just a minute. But at 8:30, we have a guest, okay? Now, here is number 5. Her name's number 5, Dr. Simone Gold. Is that her name? Simone Gold is, I think she's from Los Angeles, California. She's a doctor and an attorney. And she is the proclaimed founder of America's Frontline Doctors, okay? Now, she was introduced, her and the America's Frontline Doctors was introduced on the steps of the Supreme Court this past Monday. Yes. And they were introduced by number 3. This is Jenny Beth Martin. Number 3, she is Jenny Beth Martin, all right? She is the one that introduced them. And let's play that video. Get the video up. Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter, censor viral video of the doctor's Capitol Hill coronavirus press conference. Get that video up and let's play that if you have that ready. And then pull that back. Don't get rid of it. I may use it throughout the day. I just want to introduce you to Jenny Beth Martin as she introduces America's Frontline Doctors. Go ahead and play that if you got it.
You hear from frontline doctors today. These are the doctors who are diagnosing, treating, and helping patients beat COVID-19. We have to have a healthy respect for the deadliness of the virus, and we also want to make sure that people understand that there are treatment options available and that there is a way to protect those who are most at risk and also begin to have hope for our future. And today we are joined by Congressman Ralph Norman from South Carolina, and Dr. Simone Gold began America's Frontline Doctors. I am going to turn it to her, and you will be able to hear from the congressman and from other doctors.
Hi, Congressman.
First of all, let me thank everybody, all these physicians.
Okay, Jenny Beth Martin, the one that just introduced America's Frontline Doctors, will be with us at 8:30. So tune in at 8:30. She'll be with us. Here is, and I'll go with this, okay? There's headlines out there. So many, I'm not going to get into them, but so many of the headlines. Who are America's Frontline Doctors? The pro-Trump, pro-hydroxychloroquine weirdos banned from social media. Yes, weirdos. Just think when I said that. Let me give you this one here, okay? Tea Party group is behind banned viral doctor video. Weirdos. Weirdos. I love it. Do you hear weirdos referred to or rioting referred to, or do you hear any of that? No, it's peaceful protest, not weirdos. Why, if we were to call one of the Democrat or the deep state corporate corrupt media weirdos, anyhow, here is the thing. It's not, let me say this, and we will get into this with Jenny Beth Martin when she's on. Let me get what is a couple of my concerns, okay? And let's just go with number 46. Give me number 46. Now, at the time this was live, number 46, okay? 17 million video views. 17 million video views, okay? And then give me number 47. 185,000 viewers were currently watching the stream when it aired live Monday. There's a shot of where 185 on this one page. 185,000 folks. 185,000. Now, the one thing among many that concerns me is that's 185,000, almost 186,000 that chose for themselves to click and watch this. They chose when to click off. They chose when to leave the video. And that was taken. Now, that is one of my concerns is if we decide we want to watch something, okay? So we will get into this. So we're going to ask Jenny Beth Martin, and that is, give me again, number 3. We're going to ask her who, number 44 here, who Dr. Simone Gold is, what's going on, where did they meet, what's next. And I think more doctors, I think the concern for the deep state corporate corrupt media and the people that want the vaccine, they want that vaccine ASAP. I think the concern is now some other doctors will start speaking out. And that is a big concern they have. So we'll find out. I want to ask you this now, why? Okay. Why? Give me the video. It will kill you. The world reacts to Trump taking hydroxychloroquine. Now this is back. Oh, wait a minute. This is back in May when he says, I'm taking it. Okay. Why? But listen to the president of the United States say he's taking it. And he has a lot of doctors surrounding him. All right. Go ahead and play that one. Do you have that one, or did I not send it to you? Did I not say send it, will kill you, a video? Let me know here quickly if I sent that to you. Don't have it. Okay, I'll send that to you now. I didn't send that one. Okay, hold on. Hang tight. I'm going to stay calm here today. That's the goal I have, is to stay calm. Let me send this right fast, folks. All right, while I sent that over, let me give you, I just sent it. Let me give you a couple more things we want to look at today. Okay. Are you concerned about mail-in ballot, okay, fraud? The president floated out that, let's change the date of the election. Now that sent their heads spinning this on the weekend shows. Give me number 45. We'll play that video right after I show this one here. Give me number 45, okay? Pennsylvania to pay mail-in ballot postage for November general election. To pay, okay? They're actually in Georgia and other states, they're calling it a poll tax. Yes. You're going to have to go back and do a little history to understand a poll tax. They are actually calling that, if you have to get your own stamp, because they say that Black Americans will not be able to get to the polls and vote because of fear, because Black Americans are affected at a much higher rate of coronavirus than any other Americans out there. And they don't see Black Americans have risked their lives in the past to go cast a vote. So they want you to believe that it's a major risk of life for Black America to go to the polls and physically vote. But in the poorest sectors where they're going to send out sections, where the poorest sections where they're going to send out, okay, mail-in ballots, places will not, states will not, counties will not, cities will not have enough poll workers to have all the polling locations. So they're calling it voter suppression. They will close polling locations, and they say they will strategically close them in the area that most, that affects the Black vote the most. All the above. So they want every state in the United States to send everybody, just send everybody a mail-in ballot. We don't care if they are legal, illegal, registered, not registered, of age, not age, if they're a cat, they're a dog. I'm serious. We have cats and dogs getting them. If you're a turtle, whatever, all jokes aside, anyone. And then you must have a pre-stamped return envelope. Or if you have to buy the stamp yourself, they're calling it a poll tax. I'm serious. Pennsylvania to pay mail-in ballot postage for November general election. We'll look at today how many states. I think California, they have to be postmarked. Now states are now saying because of the backup in the postal system, okay, that they may accept ballots that are not postmarked. Yes. Just dump them in a box, not postmarked. That may happen. And then there's states like, is it California, that give up to 14 days after Election Day, November 3rd, for the ballots to come in? So are you concerned about, let's play that other video that I have, okay, I talked about.
I happen to be taking it.
Hydroxychloroquine?
I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine.
He's our president, and I would rather he not be taking something that has not been approved by the scientists, especially in his age group and in his, shall we say, weight group, what is morbidly obese, they say.
The VA study to which the president alluded wasn't a loaded political one. It was a test on patients there, and those who took it in a vulnerable population, including those with respiratory or other conditions, they died. I want to stress again, they died. If you are in a risky population here and you are taking this as a preventative treatment to ward off the virus, or in a worst case scenario, you are dealing with the virus, and you are in this vulnerable population, it will kill you. I cannot stress enough. This will kill you.
President Trump might have said it's harmless. It is not harmless. This drug can cause serious heart rhythms. It has been used and is being used in some trials for COVID-19, but it's being used incredibly carefully. Nasty side effects have been seen, and many patients have had to be taken off it. You know, this man has got some off-the-wall ideas, really off the wall. And I have to say, I mean, apart from the fact it's prescription only, please, nobody do this. In the same way, don't go drinking bleach.
Asked about what research he has that this is a preventative wonder drug, the president cited the New England Journal of I Heard It From a Guy. For the sake of his children, I hope he's not getting a lot of positive calls about Clorox. Anyway, I'm not a doctor, but the newsman says it's deadly, so I hope I'm not surprising anyone when I say, Mr. President, don't take it.
There you have it. Trump has lived. Now that was, it will kill you. Cavuto, this will kill you. I'm taking it. You can't, can you start that video? I just want Trump again. Go to the beginning, hit that. I want to hear him say, I'm taking, I love when Trump, I'm taking it. What the hell? All right. One more time, just that, and then come back. I'll give you the motion to come back. Okay, restart that. Okay, so it might take a minute for them.
Taking it. I happen to be taking it.
Hydroxychloroquine.
I'm taking it. Hydroxychloroquine.
He's our president, and I would.
I'm taking it. I'm taking it. May 19th, June 19th, July 19th, August 3rd. It will kill you. Why did the president take it? How has the president avoided the virus? Is it a preventative measure? I don't know. So anyhow, I love that. They're going nuts because we all have to have the vaccine. You got to have the vaccine. You don't have the vaccine. Now, they want a national mask mandate. Yes, they do. They want a national mask mandate. This has got some bad words in it, okay? But let's play the Twitter video. So there's two guys, one sitting on a bench, minding their own business. Get to talking. These two people have their mask on. They get to talking about why they have their mask. And this person decides the person on the bench should be wearing a cup of coffee because they're not wearing a mask. Just these attacks are happening. You have that video. Let's play that Twitter video.
We don't work for residents in this environment. It's all right.
What are you looking at me for? I didn't say shit to you. Get the fuck out
Oh no, don't get hit. Oh gee, hey, Matt. Oh shit. That was dumb. Hey, guys, stop. You don't. Hey.
Fuck off me. Hey, stop. Get her off me. Get your girl off me. Get her off me. Stop.
You shouldn't have thrown the drink in his face.
I don't give a fuck. You do
You
now.
should not have thrown the drink. That was stupid. You shouldn't do that with somebody
Hey, you
that
might
likes.
have COVID now. You better go to the doctor.
You shouldn't have thrown the drink in his face. That was pretty stupid. I don't know where you got off on doing that.
I hope that someone saw that and I would do it 10 times over, motherfucker.
Go ahead.
Fuck you.
I get to go over and laugh about it.
I don't like those bad words. I don't like them. Oh, wait a minute. That's bad words. That's violence, right? Content, violence. Guy gets up, punches another guy in the chops. You can find all the violent videos you want, all of the mayhem you want, all of the burning and slashing and throwing of trash cans you want, the F word. But, you know, some doctors make a claim and you're afraid, you know. Anyhow, so they want a national mask mandate. And let me tell you why they want that national mask mandate. Because if everybody in the United States, okay, if they could get everybody in the United States of America to wear a mask outside, the media then can go in, they could do the how many lives would have been saved. Yes. How many lives would have been saved if Donald Trump, there's nothing good about the media. Nothing. It's a big word. Except for us, FetcherNews.com, our news network, our sports network, all the above. But there's nothing good about the corporate corrupt media. All right. If Trump if they were to put in a national mask, and they're begging for it, okay, mandate, if it was to happen, then you would see all the statistics of how many people could be alive. They do that anyway. If Trump would have just said, we have to have masks back in March, back in April, back in May, right? The mask would be a sign of a failure, according to the media, for the president of the United States. Total failure. Now, cases are going down. New case reports are going down. Hospitalization is still up because it lags in the curve, but new cases are going down, all right? And they will continue to go down, all right? I understand it's a serious virus. We have concerns, but what if there's a prevention? Now, I have to get ready for my segment here that's coming up, but let's look at this, all right? Where is this in the media? Huh? Number 48. So I'm not shocked by this. You should not be shocked by this. Leftist media ignore court docs alleging Bill Clinton visited Epstein Island. Okay. So it's a real hoo-hoo list. Hoo-hoo that's coming out. It is. It's a really long list that's coming. Who was on the island? Okay. Bill Clinton was on the island. Supposedly, he flew down first class, okay, with two underage girls, right? Two underage girls. When this is proven, which, we know is true, when it is proven, because Bill Clinton would never lie about having sex with a young lady, right? When it is proven, will they arrest Bill Clinton? Will they finally put this piece of garbage in handcuffs? If you think they're not trying to Vince Foster, Ghislaine Maxwell, play that video. It starts about 9 seconds in. It's Bill Clinton. I sent it to you, Bill Clinton. Play that video there.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
Put back up number 48. You do know he was impeached, right? He actually was impeached. He did lie. Yes, folks, he lied to the American people. I want to say one thing to the American people. I never told anyone to lie. I did not have sexual relations with that young lady. And here's another thing I want you to know. Jeffrey called me up one day and said, Bill, I've got a plane. There's two young girls on there. Y'all just go in there and check it out. And I said, Jeffrey, I can't do nothing like that. He said, you'll be okay. So I got on that plane. I went right on down to that island with Jeffrey. I looked at those two young girls. I said, I'm flying first class and I've got a couple cigars with me. Yeah, I got right down there. But I'm going to tell the American people right now, no matter what they put out, no matter what the courts say, I did not have sexual relations with two underage girls. There's at least 4 or 5 of them there. Well, there's so many underage girls. Who's that little guy who's up in the tower kept yelling, the plane, the plane? Who's that little guy? What was his name? Tattoo. They told me it was Fantasy Island and I was guest starring on Fantasy Island. Yeah, that's what they told me. Bill, you're going to be a guest star on that show. I said, boy, I can't wait to get there, see that little midget guy that yells the plane out of the tower. I've got to take a break. I'm sorry, man. I got to take a break. Oh, man, let's go. And we got a little long break here I got to set up. We'll be back right after these messages with the co-founder of the Tea Party Patriots, Jenny Beth Martin.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is more than just your average Ace. We have a huge selection of Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next trip. We have a huge selection of lumber for your next building project. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs. Plus, we have everything you'd expect, like paint, tools, and equipment.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
The Chevy inventory is rolling in again, and Days Chevrolet in Jasper is discounting them deep. North Georgia's #1 truck, the Silverado 1500 Crew Cab, discounted up to $8,000 off. Plus, get huge savings with 0% financing for 84 months on every Equinox and Trax. Everyone's been waiting for these Chevys, and we've got them for less at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Find new roads.
Okay, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. We're the only online morning show in North Georgia. Last Monday morning, or last Monday, on the steps of the Supreme Court, you were introduced to America's Frontline Doctors, and a lady that introduced them, the co-founder of Tea Party Patriots, Jenny Beth Martin, and she joins us now. Jenny Beth, how are you this morning?
I am great. It's so good to be with you.
We have a lot of questions, and we're not going to take this video down. So we're not going to take this video down. But last week you introduced Dr. Simone Gold and many others that are now the group known as America's Frontline Doctors. I guess what we want to start out with, Jenny Beth, tell us how you and Dr. Gold met. How did you get involved in this? And also, who is this group? Tell our audience who they are.
Well, these are doctors who are diagnosing and treating people with coronavirus or COVID-19 specifically, or doctors who are treating people who are dealing with the fallouts from the lockdown. So the unintended health consequences from the lockdown, and there are many of those. I met Dr. Simone Gold through Mark Levin, the radio host. He read a letter that she had written online, and I asked him if he could help facilitate an introduction to her. And so I met her in very early April, maybe even late March, as the lockdowns were beginning and the spread was happening. I was working to build a network of doctors, just to find out what was going on and to make sure that the things that I was talking about were medically sound. And then as the fear kept going and going and going through our country, especially as here in Georgia, we reopened in April, but even in May, a month later, people still were not quite going back out. And I could tell that if people were afraid here in Georgia, where we'd been open for a month, that they would be afraid all over the rest of the country. And so I started interviewing doctors, created a website, the Second Opinion Project, secondopinionproject.com, and helped Dr. Gold build out a network of doctors. We took some of those, took is a strong word. I helped organize some of those doctors to fly to DC. They flew there on their own dime. And we did a summit last week called the America's Frontline Doctors Summit. And I also organized a press conference that went viral and that big tech censored.
Well, immediately, there's headlines, and I don't have to tell you, headlines all over. Tea Party Group is behind, Tea Party Group is behind banned viral doctors. I mean, the headlines, this one here is, anytime we question anything now, we're immediately called weirdos. And I'm going to say we, because I agree with the social media platforms claim to be unbiased. But who are America's Frontline Doctors, the pro-Trump, pro-hydroxychloroquine weirdos banned from social media? So now you met Dr. Simone Gold. Now, is she the founder, and what is America's Frontline Doctors? I mean, is she the founder? Do they have other doctors besides the ones we got to see at the Supreme Court steps that are joining, that are contacting her and saying, I agree, I want to be a part? What exactly is that organization about?
Right now, it's not an organization, so I don't know what it's going to become. It's sort of like what the Tea Party was in the very beginning. It's just a group of doctors. That's it. Tea Party Patriots paid for lunch. We made sure there was a location to meet. It took a lot of work to figure that out because so much is shut down in Washington, D.C. And we arranged a press conference because I know how to do that kind of thing, and my team does. I'm not embarrassed for having done this. Our point of the entire summit, and I'm proud to be part of this, was to let Americans know that there are doctors who are diagnosing and treating coronavirus or COVID-19, and that they want people to know there are treatment options, plural, available, whether it's in the very early stage of the virus, which is considered the viral replication stage, or the secondary phase, which is considered a pulmonary phase, when your immune system kicks in and it overloads the virus and your immune system are competing with one another. There are treatment options available. Not a single American has gone without a ventilator. Children are not as affected by the virus as adults, certainly not in as severely as older adults, especially adults with pre-existing conditions. It doesn't mean children can't get it. It just means they're not going to have severe cases of it. And we have reason to hope again in this country. It doesn't mean we don't respect the virus. It means that we need to start realizing we know a lot more about it than when it hit our shores 7 months ago in January or February, and that we're getting our hands around the virus, and it's time that we can begin to have hope. It's okay to hope for a future again. And I think that's an important message. It's not a political message. And the fact that they're saying, oh, these are pro-Trump doctors or this, that, and the other, these doctors did not politicize hydroxychloroquine. They did not do that. That was the media who did that when President Trump mentioned it. These doctors can tell you their experiences from having given hydroxychloroquine or taken hydroxychloroquine or researched it, but that was not at all the main focus of what we were doing. We had 6 hours of a summit plus an hour of a press conference. And even in the hour of the press conference, you're going to hear if you go watch the whole thing, you hear us talking about the different options and about the fact that children can go back to school and we can find a way to balance the seriousness of the virus with people having the ability to live their lives again and to earn a livelihood. And I'm proud to be part of that. Tea Party Patriots for over 10 years now, for 11 years, we have stood for healthcare freedom and for the doctor-patient relationship. And right now, we are seeing that there are government bureaucrats and even big tech who are interfering with that doctor-patient relationship. And it is wrong, and it is something that we have to continue to stand for.
Jenny Beth, let me get on May 19th, okay, and I don't want to waste all of our time. Well, I don't want to say waste. I don't want to drive the conversation just on this, but on May 19th, the President of the United States said in a video, we played it earlier, that he was taking hydroxychloroquine, and he had taken it. And, then we played a montage of Neil Cavuto and many saying, this will kill you. And on May 19th, it's the May, June, July, over 2.5 months since the President of the United States said he was taking it. Now, I don't know if he did a course or he's taking it once every 2 weeks, but I heard on the doctors, several of them talk about hydroxychloroquine. They see it as preventative. What exactly do you think every time the media hears and social media hear hydroxychloroquine, what really sets them off that they went as far to shut everything down from websites to videos, take them immediately off the air?
The only thing that I can think of is that they're paying attention to very faulty, bad, fake, fraudulent studies. The Lancet published one. The Lancet is one of the top premier medical journals in the world. It's 200 years old. I heard the doctors describe it as if it's treated as if it's a holy book, as if it's a Bible. And it is a once in a generation event for the Lancet to retract a study that they published. They retracted the study that they published about hydroxychloroquine. In some foreign countries, I believe in Brazil, there was a study that was done that the New England Journal of Medicine, I believe, published. I may be wrong on that, so my details may be slightly off. The important point to know is that in that particular study, they were giving a toxic lethal dose of the drug. This drug is 65 years old. It is FDA approved. You can call your doctor and ask some very basic questions just to understand if these doctors are telling you the truth. Is the drug FDA approved? Ask your doctor, is the drug FDA approved? Is it considered a safe drug? If you were going to a country such as a country in Africa that has malaria, is the doctor likely to prescribe it to you? And is it, when I say safe, is it safe enough that it is even recommended on label for malaria treatment, for pregnant women and breastfeeding nursing women? That's how safe this drug is. It's been around for 65 years. And ask one more question. Are doctors legally allowed to prescribe medicine that is considered off-label, meaning it is not exactly what the FDA says it can be used for, but if it is an FDA-approved drug, are they allowed to prescribe it off-label? It's important to understand that is a legal thing to do. Doctors were hoarding hydroxychloroquine at the beginning of this virus, the way that normal Americans were hoarding paper towels and toilet paper. Why do we do that with paper products? Because we knew it was necessary and we didn't want to take the chance of running out. The doctors were thinking the same thing about hydroxychloroquine. They know it's an important medicine, that it helps with coronaviruses, and they wanted to make sure they had it on hand for themselves, their families, or their patients. The FDA had to issue what was called an emergency use authorization. They did that to protect it so that it could only be prescribed and used on label and for what the FDA approved during COVID-19, which at the time was for inpatient hospital use. These doctors are telling me they never intended and never have thought in medical, the people who were recommending hydroxychloroquine always thought it would be helpful in the first part of the virus, stage 1 of the virus, if you will, the viral replication, not in the later phase that you have to go to the hospital for. And a Yale professor of epidemiology has said that this drug, if given early, very, very early, within the first 3 days of symptoms, it can help reduce hospitalizations and deaths. And he thinks it can reduce it by 50% to 3/4 of the number of deaths that we had. He thinks it can reduce the number of deaths that are happening right now by 3/4. That is significant, and in my opinion, a drug that is safe, that we know is safe because we have 65 years of experience with the drug. It's safer than Tylenol. If I thought that I was going to be sick and they said, here, you can try this drug, it may work, it may not, we don't have all the studies yet, but it is a safe drug that will not harm you. COVID might kill you. You better believe I'd be like, yeah, let me try the safe drug. Now, it can't be used alone. It needs to be used with zinc or azithromycin or steroids. So I consider hydroxychloroquine plus. Why are they doing this? Honestly, I think maybe they're looking at the bad study that the Lancet had to retract, and they're looking at a statement that the FDA put out when they released the emergency use authorization. They implied that the medication was ineffective or not safe. But that's wrong. It is a safe medicine. I talked to Dr. Birx in front of the doctors, and she said, oh, yeah, we lifted the emergency use authorization. You can prescribe that now. But right now, including in the state of Georgia, where the state pharmacy board has limited the ability to fill hydroxychloroquine, the lifting of the emergency use authorization has not made its way all the way down throughout all the states and all the state pharmacy boards. And the big tech companies and even the FDA are playing an unusual game, and they're not being truthful and upright about this medication.
All right. So let me unpack a little of that, because you're hitting home. We have experienced that, and I have a firsthand story on that. So let me be clear for the audience out there and correct me. It is FDA approved, okay? And doctors can prescribe off-labeling, and off-labeling means that the illness you have, it's not a treatment for. So if a doctor prescribes something that is not on a list of a treatment for something, but it's FDA approved. That's called off-labeling, and they can do it. Am I correct?
They are allowed to do it, and apparently that is very, very common practice.
Right.
Because it's very expensive to run new trials on medication. And
But-
if they know it's safe, they want people to contribute to the body of knowledge about the medication.
So a doctor can do that. Then there was an emergency put on that you couldn't use it off-label, and then it's an approved. And then Dr. Birx, or I forget her name, pronounce it. Apologize to her. Well, she said last week, "Oh, we lifted that, and you can now prescribe it." Now we have a situation. Where a doctor, and this is in North Georgia, prescribed this for a patient. Patient went to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist said, this is not on a list of treatment for COVID-19. We cannot fill it. And it actually came into a very heated argument, my understanding, from the doctor and the pharmacist, and they finally filled it. But that is my concern also, is the doctor-patient relationship you talked about earlier. So now let's be clear for the audience. A doctor, in a preventative way, if they want to prescribe hydroxychloroquine, can do that. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now, they can do that either as prophylaxis, which would be preventative, or in early treatment. The reason that they can do it is because it is FDA approved and you are allowed to prescribe off-label, and the emergency use authorization that limited hydroxychloroquine has been lifted. And the reason they limited it was because doctors were hoarding it, and they needed to make sure that our supply chain and the manufacturer's ability to supply the drug was stable. It's stable now.
Okay, so I'm concerned about doctor-patient relationship. When I go into a doctor, we've always been told that we're not going to be put on nationalized medicine, and we can choose our doctor. If we like them, we can keep them. We know that lie in the past, but we want to go to the doctor, and a doctor prescribes things and says, let's try this for a month, see how it works. If not, we'll do some blood work, try something else. But we choose that relationship on a trust in our doctor. And how concerned, I know you brought it up, how concerned are you with our doctor-patient relationship and what's going on with the COVID-19 and what's happening there?
Well, I think that I can let some things slide temporarily if there's a pandemic moving across the world, and doctors and the CDC and our health officials, our public health officials, are trying to get their hands around a new virus. I'm not going and pointing fingers and saying you should have done this and you could have done that, and I don't like whatever. What I am trying to say is we need to learn from it so that we don't repeat mistakes and we do better the next time, just like we always would want to do, no matter the situation. So that is important to understand. But right now, what we're seeing with this particular medication, and months and months and months into the pandemic, concerns me greatly. In Texas, just less than a month ago, they were saying, well, now we're going to go back and close out in certain parts of Texas the ability for doctors to do what was considered non-essential medicine, practice of medicine. So if you didn't have something that would land you in the hospital, they were saying they wanted doctors' offices to close for a second time. Absolutely not. We do not need to be closing doctors' offices in this country, because if you only focus on one part of the virus or one part of the human body, like COVID-19, and you don't focus on the whole patient, you're going to wind up with other problems with patients in weeks or months later. So we need to be paying attention to all of that. We should not shut down our entire health system. And what concerns me right now about this particular medication is that you have individual pharmacists, you have government bureaucrats who are making decisions and overriding what may be in the best interest of of the patient, and the doctor can make that decision. And when I get sick, I'm not calling up the CDC. I'm not calling up the FDA or Dr. Fauci or Dr. Birx or any of them. I'm calling up one of 4 doctors who I have a personal relationship with: my primary care physician, my gynecologist, my children's pediatrician, or the doctor who deals with my spinal issues and where I had to have neck surgery. So those are the doctors that I'm calling. And that's normal. That's who you're going to call. And that doctor knows your whole health history and can make the best decision for you. Somebody at a pharmacy looking at one piece of medicine that is being prescribed to you, they can't decide. They don't know your whole health history, and they can't make that same kind of decision. And not only that, they've been to pharmacy school, which is tough, and I understand they need to know the medicines and how they interact with one another. They haven't been to medical school to understand the entire human body.
You attended at the White House a roundtable with President Trump on July 7th concerning reopening schools. Tell us a little bit about that meeting and your opinion. What happened there and your opinion of reopening schools?
It was a very good meeting. I was there. I spoke as a mom. There were other people around the table who spoke either because they are experts, they run school systems or colleges. The American Academy of Pediatrics, the head of that, was there. And it was a good meeting. It was important to do it that way because people needed to understand that there are risks associated with keeping children out of school. And those risks are could pose greater harm to children and to our country as a whole than children going back to school. And I'm very, very thankful to Governor Brian Kemp for opening our state and helping us find a way to balance the seriousness of the virus with the ability to live life again in this state. And school systems, there are school systems that are opening up with in-person classrooms, even today, like my children today. We just had our first day of school. So I'm glad to see that happening. I hope that places where we are having in classroom education, that we can show in a few weeks from now and in a couple of months from now, it's okay, we can do this. It's scary. It's scary to open up and not know what's happening. But we have to teach our children that sometimes when they think there's a monster, that you have to live through it, open up, turn on the lights, go live through the thing that you're afraid of, and you realize that scary thing that you conjured up in your brain in reality was not as bad as what you were afraid of in your brain.
You know, I talked to several doctors that and I do a segment every week called Ask the Doc, and I talked to several that are concerned about the fact of other health issues in this country that are not being attended to during this time, like heart disease, diabetes, cancer. And they're actually, a doctor told me, you know, he said, I said, are you running into patients that you say, I wish you would have come in 2 months ago? And that's actually happening. What are some of the effects? Now, these doctors here, and I know you got to go, and I appreciate taking all this time. The doctors here have come under an enormous amount of attack. Have you talked to them individually? I mean, they're all taking the attack on, and especially Dr. Stella Immanuel, they're taking attack on social media. Have you talked to any of these other doctors on the attacks they're taking and what they're up against, and how bad is it on them?
Yeah, I've talked to them. I've been in touch with them all throughout the past week. And these are doctors, many of them, not all of them, who I have been talking to for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I'm reaching out to the ones who I do have the relationships with, and just making sure that they're doing okay and helping them. And I've told them that if they're getting media requests and they want any help vetting media or just putting out a statement, that my PR team can help with that. And we have a letter that we're circulating right now. People can find it on our website at teapartypatriots.org. We're circulating right now so that we can ask for an emergency use authorization to use hydroxychloroquine in outpatient settings in the early stage and to prevent COVID-19. So we have several hundred, maybe even at this point over 800 signatures on that letter, and we from doctors, and then we're also collecting signatures just from normal Americans who, you know, the patients, saying that this is what we want. We don't want the government to interfere with this doctor-patient relationship. And so that will help, and we'll be releasing that very shortly, at least the portion with doctor signatures, so that Americans can understand it wasn't just around 20 or so doctors who were standing there last Monday. And it certainly wasn't one or two doctors, but it's hundreds of doctors around the country who are brave enough, given all of the attacks that have happened over the last week, to continue to put their name down and to put their name publicly to say, I stand for this. And these doctors are very, very courageous. They're not doing this for politics. They're doing it because they care about their patients and they want to help their patients.
Well, I know they're being criticized for not being epidemiologists and, you know, maybe being, you know, walk-in patient doctors, but they are the doctors that we see day to day. You have been Tea Party patriots. I've followed you guys all the way back from the beginning. You have been under attack by being Tea Party for the last 10 years. So during the attacks in 10 years, have you ever been attacked like this or seen an attack in this magnitude where the shutdown of everything immediately, websites? Have you ever seen anything like this in your 10-year career with the Tea Party Patriots?
Not with such swift action the way that we saw last week. The video was going viral. From what I understand, it was the fastest spreading viral video ever. And they took it down, and they took it down everywhere on all of the platforms. We still are able to get it up on some alternative platforms, but off of the main platforms that people pay attention to, it's gone. And it is very concerning. Have I been under attack like this before? Yes, it's happened several times, and I've even been attacked by and targeted by the IRS. And I'm not afraid. And I told the doctors that what I learned from going through what I went through with the IRS is the most important thing you can do is not back down, but to continue to stand up and to make sure people know who you are, because then the public winds up being able to help with that ability to protect you and your reputation. Whereas if you kind of cower and go away and you're alone, it's easier to be taken, picked apart or picked upon and not harmed, but have your reputation harmed. They did that on Monday. They took us down. On Tuesday, we went right back to the Supreme Court and did another press conference, and we may even have another one planned in the next several weeks from now, because this cannot happen. And this is really important. We were not talking about politics. We're not talking about elected officials. We're talking about health and trying to calm the fear. And if you cannot have a discussion and debate about science with a virus that's 7 months old, and doctors who are trained medical professionals, licensed doctors, are not allowed to have those kind of discussions because it disagrees with big tech's censors, we need to be very concerned about the future of medicine in this country.
You know, I know
it's very dangerous.
Yes, I agree, Jenny Beth, and I know people want to know before we leave, and we will make this the last subject. The President of the United States said on May 19th that yes, he was taking hydroxychloroquine. He took a round. He has not tested positive. So there's a couple questions here in this box. Do you know if he was taking it for a preventative measure? Have you heard anything about why he was taking it? The other day, he retweeted something on America's Frontline Doctors. He's getting criticism over that. And do you think still this morning the president supports the ability for these doctors and many others across the country to prescribe hydroxychloroquine?
Not only does the president support it, Dr. Stephen Hahn, who runs the FDA, said last week that the decision to prescribe it should be left up to the doctor and the patient. So yes, the head of the FDA and the president, from what I can tell with the president, I don't want to put words in his mouth. He hasn't told me this directly, but he seems to support it. The head of the FDA certainly said it's a decision that should be left between the doctor and the patient. And beyond that, the president did announce that he was taking it. I believe he also announced that he had finished the round he was taking. He was doing it because somebody in the White House had tested positive. Yes. And it was a preventative measure when he took it. And finally, I don't think that it is right, and I think the president knows this, so I don't think that the president is standing in the way of this, but I really don't think it is right that a potential drug that could prevent someone from landing in the hospital or even getting coronavirus, COVID-19, or landing in the hospital or dying should be exclusively available to our country's top leaders and elected officials, but not to everyone. We're not supposed to have two classes like that in this country. We are of, for, and by the people. And this medication should not only be available to the president or to elected officials. We all should be able to have access to it if our doctor agrees that it is something that would be helpful for us.
Anything today, because I know you've been shut down in several places, but anything today you want to get out to an audience that we can get out, viral on the internet? Anything today that you want to say that you didn't get a chance to, or you want to make sure people understand before we close, Jenny Beth?
I think the most important thing that anyone can do right now is to go sign our letter. It's under action items for this week. Sign our letter about hydroxychloroquine and share that letter all over everywhere, because that's the next item, and that will help us help you get the medication that you and your doctor may think that you need. And it helps these doctors so that they know they're not alone, and we can let the FDA and the president